You walk into work expecting a normal shift. Same building, same noise, same machines that have been running the same way for years. Nothing feels dangerous, nothing feels wrong. And yet, somewhere inside that factory, a mistake is already waiting. On the day it happened, the recycling line had been running since early morning. Plastic, metal, and industrial waste moved along a massive conveyor system designed to process tons of material every hour. The machine was loud, powerful, and unforgiving, but to the workers it was routine, familiar, almost invisible. Then the line stopped. Material had jammed near the rollers, just like it had countless times before. This wasn't an emergency. It wasn't unusual. In fact, it was expected. When the conveyor stopped, someone always went in to clear it. That someone was a maintenance worker who had done this job many times. He knew the machine. He knew where jams usually formed. He knew how long it took to fix them. He also knew that shutting down the entire system for a full safety lockout would slow production, and slowing production was never welcomed. The main control panel was switched off. Indicator lights went dark. The conveyor stopped moving. From the outside, the machine looked dead. No sound, no motion, no warning signs. Believing the system was safe, the worker climbed onto the access platform and opened the protective metal guard. Inside the conveyor housing, space was tight. Thick steel walls surrounded rotating components designed to pull material inward with immense force. He leaned in to reach the jam. What he did not know, and what no one nearby realized, was that the machine was not fully shut down. According to the later investigation, the conveyor system was powered by multiple energy sources. While the primary electrical supply had been switched off, residual mechanical energy remained stored inside the system. In addition, a secondary control circuit was still active, capable of restarting the conveyor without warning. Several seconds after the worker entered the machine, someone at another station attempted to restart the line. They had no idea anyone was inside. There was no alarm, no flashing light, no countdown. The conveyor surged to life instantly. The rollers engaged with full force. The worker's clothing was caught almost immediately. In less than a second, his body was pulled toward the moving parts. There was no room to step back, no leverage to pull free, no time to react. Nearby workers heard the sound change, a sudden mechanical roar that wasn't supposed to happen. Someone shouted. Another worker sprinted toward the emergency stop controls mounted on the outside of the machine. But industrial systems don't stop instantly. Even after the emergency shutdown was triggered, the conveyor continued to move for several critical seconds. Those seconds made escape impossible. By the time the machine came to a halt, the damage had already been done. Emergency responders were called to the scene, but there was nothing they could do. The worker died at the facility. When federal safety investigators arrived, they shut the operation down and began a detailed examination. Control panels were tested, power sources were traced, witnesses were interviewed, maintenance procedures were reviewed line by line. The conclusion was clear. Required lockout and tagout procedures were not followed. Lockout systems are designed to physically prevent machines from restarting while a person is inside. In this case, no lock was applied. No warning tag was placed. No barrier prevented the system from being reactivated. Investigators documented that the facility relied on informal habits instead of enforced safety rules. Workers were expected to clear jams quickly. Lockout procedures were considered time-consuming and were often skipped for small fixes. The report also noted that emergency stop controls were positioned too far from the point of entrapment, making immediate shutdown nearly impossible once someone was caught. There was no mechanical defect, no equipment malfunction, no unpredictable failure. The machine functioned exactly as designed. The failure was human and procedural. After the incident, the company received multiple safety citations. Fines were issued. Mandatory changes were ordered. Lockout procedures were rewritten. Training sessions were held. production eventually resumed. The conveyor line started moving again. The jam that killed a man was cleared in minutes. This type of incident appears again and again in official safety records. Recycling facilities, manufacturing plants, food processing factories, different locations, different machines, but the same sequence. A machine appears inactive. A worker enters. Residual energy remains. The system restarts. And there is no escape. Investigators often summarize these deaths in neutral language. Caught in machinery. Unexpected startup. Failure to isolate energy sources. But those words don't capture what actually happens. A routine task turns fatal in seconds. A silent machine becomes a trap. And a normal workday ends with someone never going home. Every safety rule exists because something like this already happened before. These procedures are not theoretical. They are written after real people die doing routine jobs. And yet, shortcuts become habits. Warnings become background noise. Machines are trusted because they have always worked before, until the system turns back on. And when it does, it doesn't hesitate, it doesn't slow down, and it doesn't care who is inside.